What's going on, everybody? How's it going? Well, here we're gonna go ahead and continue with, what I left off on yesterday, so that I can get this information out. And I noticed that I was rushing, and I put at instead of the hashtag. So I'm gonna go ahead and have to change that at the end. So welcome to all of those that are live at the moment. Welcome to those that are gonna come in after the live has started. I appreciate each and every one of you. For whatever reason, YouTube is not sending out any type of notifications. So it's okay if you catch it later. I appreciate you taking your time to come and watch and listen. And hopefully, I'm teaching somebody something. Hopefully, it is helping you. And I'm coming little by little with the information that I'm researching, so I hope that it's doing something. I hope it's helping someone. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And I am definitely going to be on another page. So if I don't see you right away, please don't take it to heart. It's because I'm going to another window so that I can see. Okay, let me find the source of information that I need. Let me bring that information to the forefront. Okay, so let me see. Um, Let me close this. You know what? I hate when all these pop-ups come on and pop up in the midst of what you're doing, and it kind of distracts you. Okay, welcome to whoever is my guest. Welcome. I appreciate you showing up. Okay, let me save this. Hopefully, it'll show up. Let me see. Yeah, it showed up. Okay, let me go ahead. And so I believe I stopped yesterday because I'm going through the notes that I took, and I've already covered quite a few things yesterday when it comes to CPS and the corruption and a lot of the things that parents go through. And again, as I always say, I am not speaking to every last CPS worker. You have some CPS workers that are absolutely amazing, that want to see, the children go back home to their families, that want to see reunification, with parents, as long as the environment is safe, as long as it's secure, as long as there's nothing going on, So, as I stated prior, absolutely do not believe that any CPS social worker is your friend, because they are not. They have one goal in mind, and that is to remove your child from your custody because of a false allegation. Also, absolutely do not go to any CPS, which is the Child Protective Services. Do not take any doctor suggestions from them at all whatsoever, because as I did my research, it is stated that the doctors also work for the Child Protective Services, and one hand washes the other. So if you have been accused of child abuse with your child, make an appointment and tell your doctor that it's urgent that you come in the following day and have a total body examination, so that your doctor can write down all the things that they see, which is no signs of abuse, um, do blood work, and no signs of anything that is wrong with the child. So when CPS writes up their report and states that, um, you have, they saw your child and your child was, had bruises and marks and everything of that nature, your doctor's notes are more just as powerful as, a CPS doctor, because they have been practicing law, and they know that they absolutely are not supposed to lie. So with that being said, they always have a nurse with them, and you, to make sure that, the child is as comfortable as possible. So go to your doctor and tell them, look, someone put a false allegation against me stating that, there was a CPS worker came to my house and said that, there was an allegation that I was physically abusing my child. So you take your child to that doctor's appointment and make sure that that doctor covers everything from the rooter to the tutor. And so once the court sees that there was no evidence of child abuse, then they're going to have to stop their shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? Don't volunteer any information. Even if you think that you say one word to them, no, don't say nothing to them. Don't give them any information. You stay silent and you tell them, no, I do not give you consent to come into my house. If they bust into your house, or if you see the social worker and she's at your door, go get your phone or get a recording device. And I advise it to be a video recording device. If you have videos, like a recording system in your home, you do that as well. You record everything, start that recorder, and you will have that as evidence. As stated, do not use your cell phone to try to show them what you're talking about, because a lot of times you're not able to take your cell phone in there. They will not allow you to use your cell phone. But what you want to do is you want to burn a copy, a DVD, if you will, and give that copy to your lawyer. And your lawyer can submit that as evidence. So if there's anything that the social worker lied about and you can prove her to be wrong, that video, that DVD that you create could be your saving grace. But I beg you not to say anything to them, because the less you say, the less they have to use against you. So let's go, and I'm going to continue from here. And you're going to hear some clicking. That's because I have to scroll my document down. So if you're like, what's that banging noise? That's me hitting the keyboard to scroll the document down. So my apologies in advance. I noticed that when I went back to listen to it again. So here we go. Number 5 from yesterday. And maybe I should go back up real quick. Hold on. You're going to hear that noise, okay? So please forgive me. And this is what to do when CPS lies, okay? So we went through some of the things already yesterday. They want you to make a declaration of facts and all that good old stuff. So, and they're telling you not to talk to the CPS worker. If they tell you that they're there because of an abuse case, you better believe them. Say little as possible. In fact, like I said, be quiet. In criminal law, it is always strongly suggested that you talk to no one but your attorney. Think about it. Virtually all charges that CPS or DCFS levels against you are criminal charges. And while CPS or DCFS is there only to take your kids, okay? So remember that. They're there to take your kids. The police can and often will show up later for the parents. In fact, open your mouth and tell the CPS investigator enough to make their case. And you can start packing an overnight case, as the police will be called by CPS, who will be at your door to take you away. So in other words, don't say nothing. You could say, I'm innocent. You could just say that. You don't have to say anything else. But if you choose to, you're going to incriminate yourself and you're going to mess yourself up. Okay. This is one of the tricks that they use, and they suggest strongly against you saying anything. If you don't talk to them, just as you always told to never voluntarily talk with the police, if they are accusing you of a crime, you take their power away. They will not be able to use your own admission statements and your own words against you. For example, have you ever spanked your toddler? And to me, I can't tell them this, but I'm saying to you, don't even tell them this. Well, I don't believe in corporal punishment. I don't believe in punishment in any way at all. I don't believe in any physical contact. I'm being honest. I do not. I do not believe that you should have to put your hands on anybody to get your point across. Even as an adult, I don't believe that you should put your hands. If somebody say something to me, I just remove myself from the situation and we have nothing else to talk about. That's just that simple. As for a child, you sit down and you let them know, hey, you know what? And if they're still fidgeting, you take what they have in their hand. Don't snatch it. You take it, say, hey, can I have your attention? Can I have your attention? And then you say, may I please have your attention? And once you get that child's attention, you say, hey, listen, I need you to not do this because you might hurt yourself, baby, and I don't want that to happen. So I need you to be careful. I need you not to touch this. I need you not to touch that. I need you not to pull this because it might hurt you, and I don't want you to get hurt. And you talk to the child. Don't scream at them. Don't yell at them. Don't threaten them. That's not cool because they don't understand that. Talk to them. They're still developing. They don't understand half the stuff we're saying anyway. So yelling at them is not going to get your point across. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying for those out there that practice that type of behavior, that's not going to get anything across because they don't understand that. Let's say a 2-year-old. A 2-year-old barely understands anything you're saying. They understand maybe your tone, but they don't understand what you're saying. So you show them, like my little champ, when he takes his stuff and throw it all over the place, and I'll see it, I go, come with me. And he go, huh? I go, come with me. He like, huh? I said, see those shoes? Uh-huh. Can you pick those up for me and put them up on the shelf? Uh-huh. Can you move that sock? And there's a dirty clothes hamper. Can you put it right there? Uh-huh. So that's how you talk to them, and they'll put it there. And if he say no, I'll say, well, you don't want to put it in there because I don't want to. I'll be like, okay, all right. And so I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna let it stay right there. And then he'll think for himself. Then he'll go, I'll do it. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And he feels like he's done something wonderful, and you're clapping with him. So to me, that's just me. That's me. I don't know about everybody else. That's me. So, have you ever spanked your kids? Is one of the things that they're going to ask you. Do you really think there's a good answer for that question? No. I mean, there's a good answer for it, but you don't do it with them. If your lawyer asks you that, that's a different question. Do you spank your kids? No, I don't believe in, physical punishment. I don't believe in that. I don't think that does any good. I think that what you have to do is try to find a way to communicate and get through to that child. That's what I think that you need to do. Spend time. It's a child. They don't know a lot of stuff. That's what you're there. You're there to teach them. You're there to show them, nurture them. You're not there to, you're not there to do all that. Okay. The majority of CPS and DCFS social workers hate most or any forms of parental punishment. So they don't even really like timeout. Because if you put a kid in the corner on timeout, most likely that child is going to fidget around and, move around. So what you do is you take whatever it is that child is doing and you tell them, hey, come sit with me. You know what I'm saying? Come sit with me. You don't want to sit with me? No. Why you don't want to sit with me? You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that you can do is have the child come sit with you. Okay, you're going to probably hear that bumping noise because I'm trying to get my screen down to where I need it to be. Okay, so the minute you became aware that your family is being investigated, you must find an attorney who has experience in fighting CPS or DCFS. I'm going over it so I can continue to go down because there's some stuff that I need to go ahead and elaborate on. An attorney experienced in CPS and DCFS cases in court is mandatory. Juvenile dependency courts are worlds unto themselves. So I said this yesterday. Here's that bumping sound again. You guys forgive me. I said this yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. Do not go get yourself a basic family lawyer thinking that family lawyer is going to be able to assist you. He or she is not. Because this court is a whole world in and of itself. It's a whole different type of world, with different laws, rules, and regulations, codes, and forms, and things of that nature that your lawyer may not understand. And I try to give a story, to back up what I'm saying. So the story is, I told it yesterday. This woman went out and got herself a family lawyer. The family lawyer didn't too much know about CPS, and she did it to be manipulative. So she told the family lawyer her spiel. And so the family lawyer told her, absolutely, you can't go get your kids and you can't spend time with them, So after she did that, I believe she handed him the paperwork. So this lawyer looked at the paperwork, and next thing you know, she told the judge when they did their Zoom meeting, oh, I have a lawyer. And so they pulled the lawyer up, and the lawyer was talking to the judge, and the judge said, you could have gotten her in trouble because I gave her a court order. And he said, well, she gave me the paperwork, but I didn't understand what was going on, and I was still going through it. And so the judge got really upset with the lawyer. But to me, I feel like the lawyer was the one that got manipulated. If she would have paid attention, that woman used that lawyer to manipulate to get what she wanted. So then I guess the judge figured out that, oh, this chick played him, made him look bad. And he kept apologizing to the judge. And so the judge was like, would you like to sit in? He was so upset. He said, no, thank you. I'll just leave, And so they continue with the mom. And she said, very well that I gave you a court order to not do this, and that. That I told you that. So you went off and you got this man involved, and, she basically reprimanded him, and he had no idea, what was going on. So that's what I mean. Don't go get yourself just a regular lawyer. That's what she tried to do. That man had no clue what was going on in that courtroom. So they don't know all the codes, the rules, the regulations. They may have some knowledge of the filings and things of that nature, but they don't know everything. So don't play yourself, and don't play the person, that's trying to help you, because if something would have happened to that child, she probably could, hi Nick, how you doing, sweetie? She probably could have got that dude in a whole world of trouble. He could have lost his license or anything, and I think that's jacked up how she did that. That was wrong. That was cold-blooded. You don't do people like that. Don't put people in positions, where they could get into trouble because you're trying to be sneaky and get your way. Now, those type of parents, when it comes to CPS, I can see the CPS worker getting frustrated and suggesting that the kid not be returned back to mom or dad because they're being manipulative, And then I saw another one this morning. The father of his child had a social worker, and the social worker was not doing her job. And this dude, finally, he got in front of the judge and he went smooth off. Okay. When I say he went off, he went smooth off. And it got to the point where it scared me, because I thought that they were going to, shut him down, but they did not. And he was respectful, but he was angry. He said, I'm really angry, Your Honor. I'm really angry. Please forgive me, but I'm really angry. And he said, my social worker, he called her by name. He said, I went to my aunt's house Thanksgiving, and I discussed the case with her and explained to her what was going on. And she is a certified foster mother. And she told me that she will definitely take my daughter in and take care of my daughter. Good, nice to see you. Be right back. Okay. And he said, my aunt said she would take my daughter. And I told the social worker, I forgot her, I'll just give her name, Miss Johnson. And she said, I went to hang up to give Miss Johnson my aunt's phone number. But before I could grab my phone, my aunt called me telling me that Miss Johnson contacted her. And so they had a conversation, which I don't want to go in because it'd be too long. And so the judge was like, oh, so wait a minute, this is kind of crazy. What do you mean? He said, since Thanksgiving, we have been telling her that my aunt will take my daughter, and she has done absolutely nothing. I've been calling her. She has not been doing her job. She has been giving me the runaround. I am really upset, Your Honor. and he was mad. You could tell they was like, calm down, calm down. So when it came to asking the social worker questions, she wanted to look stupid because she didn't think that he was going to put her on blast. She thought that he was going to stay quiet and she was going to keep that little girl placed where she was. And so the man said, let me get the judge said, you almost did it right instead. Yeah, that's what I said. I said at the beginning, I got to change it. So the judge was able to ask the man. He said, she said, can you give me the number to your aunt? And she said, yes, I can give the number to my aunt. So he got up and she was laughing because she could tell he was hot. So while he was going to get his phone, the judge asked the social worker, so this has been since Thanksgiving. And so she tried to trip his words up. And he said, the last time I spoke to her was Monday, you know, and they end up calling the guy's aunt, and the aunt said the same thing, that, oh, she only called me for a few seconds and hung up, and that was it. And that was the end of the story. They was trying to keep his child away from him and the family that wanted to have, access to the little girl. And the little girl wanted to be there as well because she wanted to be near family. And so the judge said, is this your biological nephew? She said, no, I've been knowing him since he was a baby. So that made the difference because there is a history. You know what I'm saying? So hold on one second. I'm trying to respond to something. DCYF? What's DCYF? Hold on. Hold on, you guys. You can add up to 3 good ones. Okay. So she pretty much, she was really disgusted, and this is one case where the social worker was trying to keep this man's child, and now that the aunt has all the credentials, to get the little girl, they're going to be looking into it. So that's a good thing that he spoke up, because had he been timid and not spoken up, he would not have been able to get his child. The CPS worker would have been able to continuously allow that little girl to be in a stranger's home without, him speaking up. So kudos to him. That's how I felt. So let me continue. Your most seasoned and experienced lawyers, when first stepping foot into a juvenile dependency courtroom, are totally dumbstruck, as if they stepped into It's a Small World at Disneyland. Most lawyers, even experienced family law attorneys who are not experienced with CPS and DCFS, mistakenly think that it is their job, and I put into quotes, as it would be in any other court setting. So what that means is they think that they can handle the CPS and the DCFS as though they would be able to handle a normal court setting, and that's not the case. Like I said, that's a whole different world other than a regular family law office or a family law attorney. You have to get a DCFS or DC, somebody, not a DCFS, but you have to get an attorney that is aware of the CPS or DCFS and know all that's going on and knows how to communicate with them and knows the ins and outs, knows the forms, knows how to, win in the courtroom. So to find out what CPS or DCFS wants and then communicate all the details of their clients, shockingly, doing exactly that often leads to total disaster and the loss of your child. They are saying that if you get a regular family attorney, this could be, a shocking, and oftentimes it could cost you the loss of your family and your children. That is, because if you get a regular family law lawyer and he doesn't know anything and he goes in there and he gives it his all and they know that he doesn't know what he's talking about, they're going to take full advantage of him, and he's going to be sweating and working his butt off, and you're going to lose and you're going to get mad at him. What are you getting mad at him for? Because you wouldn't got a regular attorney. Get someone that is educated. Even if it's an advocate that has gone through it and has studied and learned the ins and out of the CPS situation, then if you get somebody that is strong and they know exactly what they're talking about, they're just as good as a lawyer, and they know all the codes, all the regulations, they know everything, they know how to work the court, then you get you an advocate that knows everything. So when that advocate goes in for you as your witness, they can chew that CPS worker apart. So don't go in there getting no regular family lawyer, you guys. I'm stressing that. Very, very important, okay? Be courteous and polite to the CPS social worker and the investigators at all times, because if you come up in there with an attitude, that's going to be a problem. But like I was saying, that dude made it known. You're going to hear that bumping sound again. Please forgive me. I don't have a mouse to click to make my screen do it the way I need to. But if you go up in there with an attitude, it's going to be a problem. But that gentleman said, "I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm really mad right now. I'm really upset because they have been playing games with me, and this social worker is not doing her job, and she's making it very difficult for me, you know?" And so, hashtag chain gang. Okay. So she's making it very difficult for me, and I'm really mad. So he made it known that this is the problem. But I'm so happy that he spoke up. He was very, very upset. You could tell he was very, very upset. And everything that he said, his aunt backed up everything. And so the social worker looked like a total idiot. You know what I'm saying? She looked so stupid. So they said they were going to go back to court in April. So hopefully I'll be able to follow that and bring you guys an update. So let's face it, I'm starting to read again. When a government investigator without any advance notice knocks insistently on your door, well-dressed, looking all official with county badge, exuding the authority of the government, is well prepared, primed, and ready to level accusations of child abuse or neglect against you, most people would be shocked. If you're human, you'd also be scared too. As government is getting bigger and bigger every year, and they are getting more and more powerful and intrusive in the lives of ordinary citizens, we are all a bit nervous and threatened by the power of the states as we witness weekly examples of government power wielding unfairly investigative TV news programs and in the lives of our own families and friends. And I hope I didn't read that too fast. So they are getting more and more intrusive, but you have people that are literally fighting back. So that's a good part. So if there is a petition out there and you don't have any kids and you love kids, sign that petition, because you got to also, each one of the people that you're going to be voting for, just because you like their name, find out what they think about Child Protective Services. Find out what they think, where they stand. Because I heard a live earlier where, oh God, I didn't write the city down and the state down, but I know it was, yeah, I did. It was in Texas. And they were talking about the mayor in Texas. And man, they was talking about her so bad. They were saying how some kid was in foster care, and the man that adopted, the foster parent that had the little girl, he was continually having sexual relationships with that little girl over and over. And it was a little girl, and she was burned over 95% of her body by him and other things. And it was really disgusting. And so when they asked the mayor about it, she said, well, it was something stupid, and it just enraged everybody. This man, they said this man was big, and not like really big, meaning, weight wise, and nasty. And this man took advantage. He didn't want to work or anything, and he was using this girl's money for his own personal gain. And it was really sad. And the mayor absolutely acted as though he did nothing wrong. So now there's a big stink and an investigation going on. So she might as well kiss her job goodbye, which, when it comes to that kind of stuff, enough people stand up and speak against her, it will be a good thing, because that'll show up these people. You cannot continue to mistreat these children if you're supposed to be putting them in a safe environment. If you're claiming that they have been abused, why would you put them in an environment where they're being more traumatized? So, I know nobody's coming to the panel, but it's okay. I'm gonna keep on teaching um, the best way I can. Okay, let me see. Okay, surprise visits by anyone. Okay, perhaps the dishes are unwashed. Maybe you haven't cleaned the house for a day or two. Say that there are a collection of beer bottles on the coffee table from a football game the day before. Could be that you're not dressed in appropriate attire as you would be if expecting guests. So when you are surprised and accused to your face of child neglect or child abuse, it might be natural that you are shocked, defensive, upset, angry, and a little hostile. As Homer Simpson would say, don't. Yeah, that was pretty cute. And it says, guess what? An angry demeanor towards the CPS, social worker, or DCFS investigation gator is considered evidence of your guilt. Your perfectly natural, upset, and angry reaction to being accused of harming your child will very often be used as evidence of your violent and abusive personality. So someone calls and say that you've been beating your kids, and you like, what you talking about? You gotta be out your damn mind. Get out of my damn face. Right there, they're gonna use that against you. So what they're saying to you is, if you are accused and they come to your door, let it click in your head. That's not true. I would never do anything like that. You can say that to yourself, but don't say that to them, because they could just take your words and twist your words upside down to fit the narrative that they want you to have. So only thing you have to say is nothing. And if they want to come in, no, I do not give you consent to come into my home. No, you're not welcome. Okay, so then they have to go. You have a warrant. If they don't have a warrant, they'll go and get a court order warrant. You have 2 days to obtain yourself a lawyer. So, with that being said, I'm going to tell you, there is a lawyer named Vincent Davis, and I think that he could get some type of, I forgot what the word was, that he might be able to help you in your state. And his number, area code is 888. The phone number is 888 also 6582, and his name is Vincent Davis. And in California, we have a radio station, KABC, as 790 ABC. 790 ABC radio, KABC radio station, excuse me, 790 KABC radio station, okay? You can reach him on that one. So I'm going to definitely look and see if there is a website for him as well, and find out the times and the days that he actually comes on, so that you might be able to call in and get some of your questions answered. And I don't mind promoting him. Hopefully one day he'll come on my channel and kind of talk to you guys. We'll do a live. Hopefully, I already emailed him and asked him. So I'm waiting for a call back so that we can schedule it. And I would love for, my people to be on here, the ones that are having issues with CPS. It would be beneficial to you. So with that being said, never invite any CPS or DCFS worker into your home unless he or she has a warrant or a court order. That is the only time you allow them people to come into your home, if they have a warrant or a court order. If a county CPS social worker or DCFS social worker requests that you invite them into your home, politely refuse, you guys. You don't have to let them in. Say, no, I don't think so. If he or she insists or suggests that not allowing entry will work against you or will ensure that your child be taken away from you, hold your ground. Politely ask to see their warrant or court order to come into your home. If the CPS social worker or investigator claims that they have a warrant, insist on seeing it, because they will lie to you and say that they have a warrant And then when you go to court, they'll say, I never said such a thing. So it's going to be their word against yours. Okay. So, whew, yeah, in fact, they owe you a copy. So make sure you get a copy, okay? Why? Because the social work lie. Like I said, why would a social worker lie? Yes, police and government agents often suggest they have a warrant or outright lie and claim to have a warrant when they do not. It makes their task of finding needed evidence against you so much easier. So you don't want to make their job easy at all. So if they came back to your house and your house is a mess, baby, call some friends and get that house cleaned up. You got 2 days. You got 2 days to get them clothes washed. You got 2 days to clean that house. No lollygagging, no playing. If you got to stay up, you gotta stay up and clean and sleep for some hours and get enough rest, wake up, start cleaning again. If you go back to sleep, wake up and start cleaning again. And I mean clean. Wipe the walls down, wipe the window sills, dust, wipe everything down, mop the floor, sweep the floor, clean the bathroom, clean your all the rooms that you have, sweep and mop, move stuff around, get behind it, dust under everything, clean your cabinets, make sure there's no food on no dirty dishes. Make sure that you don't have spots in your on your dishes. I'm just giving you guys some information. Make sure you don't have no spots on your dishes. Make sure your microwave is clean. Make sure under your microwave is clean. Make sure that your kitchen sink is clean. Make sure there's no funky odors coming out of your trash can. If your trash can has an odor, stick the trash can out in the backyard or on the patio or somewhere where it could get aired out, or bleach it and let it dry out. Clean your stove. Make sure your stove is clean. Make sure your oven clean. Make sure your cabinets are wiped down and clean. Make sure your refrigerator has food in it. Make sure it's clean. Make sure that behind it, underneath it, around it, make sure it's not cluttered. Make sure your clothes are clean. The kids' dirty clothes hamper, make sure it's not overflowing with dirty clothes. Make sure your bed is made. Make sure the house is clean, is what I'm saying. So when they come and they look in your house and they try to find something against you, your house is clean. Make sure that your house smells good. If you smoke cigarettes, make sure you don't smoke in your house. Make sure that your smoking is done outside. If you have a little area where you have a gate and a lock, make sure you have that gate locked and have your cigarettes over there where that area is locked. Because if they say, do you smoke? And they come to your house and they look and you video them walking over there and they say, what is that? Oh, why is that locked? Well, that's where I go and I close in and I go over there to smoke cigarettes away from my kids. And then after I finish, I put the cigarette ashes out and the butts out, and then I lock it back up so they don't have access to getting to it. So you're showing them that you are very cautious about what you are doing. You have to do that with them because they will find any little thing. Thank you. Thank you, Nick. So make sure that you clean. If you have pets, make sure your pets are clean. Make sure that your pets are not stinking. Their cage is not dirty. Make sure that it's clean, what I'm saying, because they will find anything. Make sure that I'm going to say this, even if you have a medical marijuana card and you have marijuana, you guys, even if you have it from your doctor and it's doctor ordered, my suggestion to you is if you have that kind of stuff, make sure that you have like a safe that is small enough where you have the code only or you have the only key, and you put it up high up in your closet. And if I smoke marijuana, it's a medical card. I have a medical card, okay? And yep, make sure your kids are dressed nice and clean. Exactly. And make sure their hair is combed. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they have all the necessities that they need. Make sure that they have soap. Make sure they have lotions. Make sure they have blankets on their bed. Make sure their covers and their bed is clean. Don't, if they got a lot of toys, make sure you put those toys up in a nice fashion. You know what I'm saying? If you have anything they in your bedroom, I know that's your sanctuary, your private area. Anything that they could use against you, for women, I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep it a thou wow, like Nick say. If you have toys, honey, find a lock box, lock your toys up, because they're going to say something about your toys. They're going to throw it in that report and lie on you, and say that you're engaging in that kind of act with your kids. They're going to lie. So put up anything that could be used against you. Put it up high so that the kids can't get near you. If you have cigarettes, put them up high where the kids can't get to you, and possibly put a lock on your door and let them know when you're not in your room door stays locked, just to protect yourself. So I'm telling you, these folks will use anything against you, anything. If your kid wets themselves, make sure that you go ahead and you get them kids cleaned up. Me personally, because I have a little one, when he accidentally wet himself, I have a bucket in my tub, and I have like the bath, the soap that you use. I have to go out in the back where it's locked up and go get a little bit. I'll get a little scooper I keep, and I'll pour a little scoop in there, and I will like get that stuff hand washed out, and then I would rinse it out, and then hang it over the rail so that it will dry. But I don't leave anything, even if they peed in it, don't leave nothing pee-peed in it, because they'll use it against you. And another thing I heard is this lady was saying that her children had gone to school, and the kids came home and they got infested with lice in their hair. So right away she went and got some stuff to treat the kids. And she called the social worker to let the social worker know that her kids caught lice. And so the social worker came and gave her some black bags, to bag up her stuff. Her mistake was this: you bagged it up, but what did you do with it? You left it right where they were. And when the social worker came back, she used it against you to say that the house was dirty, and that the children, you didn't change the kids' bedding or anything. Come on. Even if look, I'm sorry. I've never dealt with lice before. I don't know what it's like. But once I treated the child, I would continuously treat that child, and I would put brand new bedding on their bed every night. But one thing that people don't know is that in the child's pillow, you can put a light dusting of baby powder, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you something. One time I had a dog, and the dog caught fleas. Excuse me, somebody's calling. And the dog caught fleas, and I couldn't get to the store, and I had like 6 bottles of baby powder, because I love baby powder. I buy stuff in bulk. And so I took and I put baby powder all over my floor. And finally my ride came, and my whole floor was covered. The dog was out. And when I came back, I vacuumed it up. And when the exterminator came, he asked me, "What did you do?" I said, "Oh, I had baby powder, and I took all my bottles of baby powder and I threw it all over the house so that I wouldn't have to so until I got, your services." And he said that was the smartest thing when you're dealing with bugs and stuff like that. If you take the moisture away from them, it'll kill them. And I was like, wow, I didn't know it. I just did it just for the heck of it. But you could put a light dusting of baby powder on your child's pillow, or if you put like a bonnet on their head, put a light dusting of powder in their bonnet if they have lice. And with that baby powder, it's going to smother the lice if you don't, along with you treating them. So I'm not trying to make it long, but I'm just trying to give you an idea. But the lady left all those bags of things in the middle of the floor. The house wasn't cleaned or anything like that. So the social worker had ammunition against her to take them children away, is what I'm saying. So make sure that if you're getting anything from those social workers, you make sure that if they're giving you trash bags or any type of anything, you make sure that you take that bag while they're gone. You go wash them clothes and you come right your behind butt back to your house, make them beds up and put them clothes up. And when they come in and they see that you actually did something, then they have nothing against you. So they're looking for any little thing, is what I'm saying to you guys. If you got knives and things like that, make sure that you have safety drawers. Make sure that those knives are put out of the reach of the children. Make sure that if you have underneath your sink, you have safety locks everywhere. You have to have safety locks. That's the number one requirement, because if you don't have safety locks, they're going to say that your house is not fit. If you have like bleach and cleaning solutions, those things have to be put up high or locked away. So if they come in and you got your bleacher just laying on the floor and like nilly willy, like nothing's going on, they're gonna look at that ding, 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 and all of a sudden you like, good God, what's regular to me is a danger to them. So basically, that's what I'm saying to you. Don't give them anything to go on that will cause you to lose your children. It's very important that you don't. If you have friends that you know that when they come around, they act like they don't have common sense, don't have your kids around. I mean, your friends around. Don't allow your friends to come around. If you don't curse and swear and act fool in front of your kids, don't allow somebody to come and do that in front of your kids. Because if the CPS worker get nosy and say, hey, what kind of friends your mama got? Oh, she got this one friend. Oh my God, she just cussed at everybody. She cussed at you? Yeah. Don't allow that. Because any little thing, does your mom have a boyfriend? Yes. How was he? He's mean. He smokes. He drinks. He this. Kids don't know any better. They're telling what they know. They're telling what they see. So you can't get mad at them. You know what I'm saying? You cannot. They don't understand. Somebody's asking them a question, and the manner in which they question them is so polite and so kind that the kid will voluntarily answer that question. So be careful with the company you keep. If a woman is in a domestically violent relationship, my question is, are you going to choose your kids, or are you going to choose that man? Because if that man is the problem, he absolutely has to go. And you cannot allow him to come back in that house, because you'll lose your children. He has to go through anger management and all types of stuff. And if he comes back in after that and he starts the same shenanigans, then you're going to have to make a decision. Is it going to be him or your children? And those are one of the things that you're going to have to deal with. And it's very serious out here. These people are not playing. Make sure you don't dress better than your children. Yep. Because if you got Macy's on your on your children, when your children have on Goodwill, yep, real talk. And that's true. That's 100% true. And make sure them kids they look way better than you. You could be the bum, but make sure your kids ain't. Exactly. Date thugs, you date death. Exactly. And that's, hold on a second. I missed something because I was what that happens. A lot of kids catch license school. Yeah, exactly. But they'll hold it against you. Okay, so Nick, I have a question if you're still here. If it's a little girl and a little girl catches lice, you dye the hair? That's the question that I have. Do you dye the hair? That kills it too? So you got to be really, really careful, especially if they're coming for you for something that they feel that you've done. Because if CPS is called out, you have already been presumed guilty. There's no innocence there. And Air Force 5 is I hope you don't mind me saying, is an ex-police officer. And, a lot of stuff that I know by not having to answer the door and keep your mouth shut and recording them is all came from him. He was the one that gave me that information. So that's how come I'm able to pass that information on. So you have to definitely be careful. You have to definitely be polite. They say in certain situations, hold on, let me go ahead and read this again. Okay, it says, don't open the door till they give you a warrant. No matter what they say, even if they say they got one, I want to see it. I want a copy. And if they lie and say they don't, make sure you record. Please don't sit there and say, I was about to, but no. Ain't no I was about to do it. This could be your saving grace. Okay? Because I'm quick at it. Because the reason why I say burn a DVD, because I went to court with a friend of mine and she was going up against her landlord. And so I went through the whole house with my cell phone recording everything. I recorded everything. And so the landlord said, no, I fixed those things. But the crazy part was the same day that I burnt the CD was the same day that I recorded it. So my CD gave a time stamp and a date stamp on the day that I actually burned it. And I also spoke and showed with her phone. I said, give me your phone. And I showed the date and the time that I was recording so that they can see that I was not kidding. And so when we went to court, they told me that we couldn't have our cell phones like Air Force 5 said. So with the paperwork, I gave them a copy of the DVD. So when they got a copy of the DVD, the landlord looked really stupid because he thought that, well, she didn't know, but I did. He thought that we were stupid enough just to come in there with word of mouth. And because we came in there with a DVD, because we couldn't take our phones in there, the judge was able to see the complaints that she had and the things that the owner did not do to the property while she was a tenant. So she won her case. So that's what I'm saying. If you can burn a DVD, those old laptops that you have that have DVD burners, even if they're slow as a touche turtle, don't get rid of them. Get you some DVDs and you can hook your phone up and you can burn a copy of whatever footage you need, and you can present that with your court paperwork and documents. And if they lose it, bring an extra copy with you. So that with 2 copies with you, because if they try to misplace that, you got an extra one. So be smart about it. But they will you can definitely record it and burn a copy and present it, give it to your lawyer to present it as evidence in court. So, and it says they will be annoyed because you won't do it for them, but you will be far better off legally. If the agent says it is an emergency, if they say it is an emergency, call their bluff. Insist that they explain how it is an emergency and what constitutes as an emergency. Typically, in so-called emergency situations, the police and the CPS social workers come together, and even then, it is not necessarily an emergency, but a working relationship that some CPS agents have with associates on the police force. So they work together, and they'll say it's an emergency, but clearly it's not an emergency. So you guys might hear some bumping. That's me moving my mouse. Do not even open the door to allow the CPS agent to look inside your home to see your children. They can see something that creates an emergency situation, even if it is not true. So don't even open the door and go, look at my kid. Because at first I was saying that, but now that I'm going back over my notes, don't even do that. You can actually go outside and close the door and say, I don't want to talk to you. And you can go back in your house and close your door. Or you can cut your lights out and your kids can be in the other room and they can't see in your house. They don't have a right to flash no light in your house without your consent, because that's still intrusion. So they say be firm, and they put that in bold. So I put it in bold. Be firm. You should not waver nor give into thinking what's the harm. Don't do that. There's no compromise here. No exceptions. If you invite a county CPS investigator or a Los Angeles DCFS worker into your home, you have just waived your federally protected Fourth Amendment constitutional protection. You have just given that away and just threw it up in the air. Just like a police detective intent on hauling you to the police station for questioning, would love for you to willingly invite them into your home. A CPS social worker who is openly or secretly intent on taking your children from you will find something in your home to justify the removal of your kids. So, with that being said, you guys, please do not allow them folks to come up in your house, because if you do, you heard it for yourself. If you allow them, what's the harm? Oh, I'm gonna let them in, honey. You just threw that Fourth Amendment right out the window. You chucked it out. You chucked it out the window. And don't be saying, "Oh, they went against my amendment. They went against my Fourth Amendment." No, fool, you let them in. You waived it. When you let them in, you gave that away. Shoot, you might as well give them the keys to your house. You done messed yourself up. You know what I'm saying? You messed yourself up. You can't do that. Don't do that. Learn something before, when you dealing with them, even if you have to scour the internet, learn something. And again, I'm gonna say his name. His name is Attorney Vincent Davis. He works and he fights against CPS. And he stated, it's a word he used, but I'm not 100% sure what the word was that he used. But he said he is also able to get work in Las Vegas, and he said he can get some kind of paperwork where he can work in another state if it's possible. So you can find him on radio station. This is out here in California, 790 KABC. And his phone number, should you want to talk to him or anybody on his staff, area code 888-886582. Again, area code 888, phone number 888-6582, and his name is Vincent Davis. And again, you can go to Los Angeles radio station 790 KABC, and you can find him on there. And sometimes he's answering questions, and it would be interesting to know. I already emailed him, like I said, to ask him if he would like to join my panel. And if he does, hopefully a people will show up. And if he does say yes, then I am going to send the notification out. I'm going to send the information to Air Force 5 and to Nick, so that he could tell everybody to join so they can get information that they may need. So this happens every day all over America, and even more often in Southern California, where CPS and DCFS agents are the most ruthless social workers anywhere. The bar for removal is whatever it needs to be. As far as the social worker is concerned, a legal prescription in your bathroom cabinet, a beer bottle on the coffee table, a kitchen knife not in the drawer, a broken window, a back door without a deadbolt, a missing smoke detector, a swimming pool without its own secondary safety fence, whatever might be necessary to fill out the paperwork to justify removal. If this particular social worker set out to take your child, allowing them innocently into your house will ensure that your child is taken from you. You now have a year or a lifetime of hell before you. And that's what I was explaining to you in so many words, because you're going to lose so much behind that. You're going to lose so much behind that. And I don't care how, and I said it yesterday, I don't care how eloquent you speak. I don't care how well knowledge you are. I don't care about anything. I don't care about your education level. I don't care about none of that, okay? I don't care if you have a doctorate. I don't care if you have a PhD. I don't care if you have a master's. I don't care. And neither do they. If they're out to get you, baby, they're out to get you. So the less you say is better off for you. Some people want to say with so many big words to try to articulate what they're saying, and they end up sticking their foot in their mouth and they have to chew their own shoe because you ran your mouth too much trying to be Mr. Know-It-All. Shut up, Mr. Know-It-All. Shut up, Mrs. Know-It-All. Keep your what my grandma said, keep your happy flappers closed. Don't be a chatty Cathy. Keep your mouth closed. It'll save your life. because some of the stuff that I read and I hear people trying to justify and argue back with the social worker, you're giving your own self, you're getting your own self in trouble. They don't care. Keep talking. You're just helping me build my case. Keep on. Okay, so let me continue. Woo. I know it's a lot of information, but I gotta get it out here, y'all, because somebody need this, and I'm aiming to help the person. Demand that CPS tape any interrogations of your child. Air Force 5 said, absolutely not. You should not allow a CPS worker to go anywhere alone with your child without your consent, without you being able to tape, without you being able to be there. And they're trying to say you can, but you cannot do that. Even in a court, even when a grown person, not a grown person, but when a juvenile has been arrested for interrogation, they ask them to call the parents in most cases. But if you have a corrupt officer, they'll go ahead and scare your kid into a confession. And most of the time, it's a false confession, and the person confesses to something that they didn't do. So, subjective reports of what a child said or did not say is hardly ever adequate. Ask that any interrogation be recorded. You could produce your own recorder, okay, as a backup, just in case the CPS or DCFS investigator loses their tape between the investigation and a subsequent court hearing, where you might have wished that you have such a tape. So, in other words, like Air Force 5 said, record everything. And what's best is the video recording. So if you got a whole lot of mess in your phone, I suggest you remove all them pictures, all them apps, anything that's going to hinder you. Or if you have an old tape recorder, like a DVD, however you call it, if you have anything that's capable of recording, if you have to use your house surveillance as a recording device, you do that. Whatever it takes to get that information, and you burn a copy of it, and you make 3 copies and you have it to yourself. If they say they lost it, take it down, give it to your lawyer, and let them submit it as evidence. Because once they submit it as evidence and they say, well, Your Honor, we lost the DVD. How do you lose a DVD? And then the judge is going to feel like there's something corrupt going on. How do you lose evidence? Okay, Your Honor, guess what? I have another copy right here, and submit it right before my face. I don't want it going nowhere, because that's what they did the last time. I want you to look at it right now. And so the judge gets the opportunity to look at the video, and he sits there and he looked at everything that the social worker has done and said, and finds out that it's a complete lie. Then you have a good chance, because they do have immunity. They can say it's a typo, but if they have a whole report filled with untrue facts, that's more than a typo, honey. That's just blatantly outright lying. Okay, so if you are accused of physical abuse, immediately have your doctor give your child a thorough physical examination. And I said that earlier, that you call your doctor and you say, look, I have a situation and I have been accused of child abuse. And I want you to do a full, entire physical examination. They're coming back in a couple of days. Yep. Loose lips get in trouble. Exactly. And you tell them, I'm coming back. I mean, they're coming back in a couple of days. So I need to get that scheduled before they come back. So you get that, say you go to the next day, your doctor doing a full physical examination, he could bring in another doctor and a nurse, and they can all be in there with you and with the child, and they all can witness the examination, stating that your child had no physical marks, no bruises, nothing. He did from head to toe. He checked the scalp, he checked the ears, behind the ears, he checked the neck, he checked the front, the back, he checked the shoulders, he checked the underarms, he checked the arms, he checked down the sides of the baby's body, he checked the back, the chest area, he checked the ribs, he checked anywhere there would be a mark. He looked between fingers and toes. He looked at private area, he looked at the buttocks, He looked at the whole entire shebang. He looked at the baby's mouth, his lips, because you want to make sure that they look at the lips so they could say, oh, well, you didn't check the lips and see if his lip was busted. Well, guess what? We covered that too. We looked at the fingertips, the fingernails, toenails. We looked at everything, the kneecaps. We went through the entire body. There's nothing there. And so you get your statement from your doctor and it's presented to the court, and your lawyer gets the information. So when the caseworker say, yeah, there was physical marks all over his body. Let's say you picked him, you did it. There was physical marks all over his body when I came out on Monday. So Tuesday, you went and got this full exam, the full report, and there was several doctors and several nurses in there doing an examination while you were sitting there, and you were recording, the information as well with your phone, and then they finished the report. So you submit to your lawyer the video that you did when you were recording your child being examined. Not the private area, because you want to be respectful. You can say, as of now, the doctor's recording my child's private parts, and I don't want to show it on video because I don't want it to be a disrespect to my child. And you can hear the doctor talking in the background. And so you submit that video, you submit their paperwork, and the judge will be like, wait a minute. So what you're saying is Monday, you saw physical bruises all over the child. Yes, I did. It's in my paperwork. Okay, Tuesday, did you know that she took the child to the doctor on Tuesday? No, I wasn't aware of that, Your Honor. Well, there were several doctors and several nurses, and there is a video showing the examination. Shall we look at it? Yeah, we can look at it. So where are all the bruises that you say that you saw on this child's body? Where are the bruises at? No. They know, where are the bruises that you said that you saw on this child's body? So now you got a major problem on your hand. Guess what? I'm about to sue. I'm about to do some major suing at this point. I'm about to cash in, and I'm about to have me some money, and I'm about to put that money up for my child's future. So now here you go. You already been proven innocent. Let's say I'm not going to do that one yet. So let me stay on course because I don't want to mix up my notes. Okay, so let's continue. Hold on a second. Okay, something. Okay, I think I went a little bit too far. So let me see. Did I not, or did I? Okay, yeah. There you go. Ask your doctor to write a letter stating that there are no bruises or injuries observed, nor any health-related issues. Okay, now we're on track. I apologize for that. No health-related issues that would raise any concerns or suspicion of child abuse or neglect. Obviously, go to a doctor whom you trust. And I've been saying this, don't you trust no CPS. If a CPS or DCFS worker suggests that you go to a doctor that they know, don't do that. Nope. Okay, so if a CPS or DCFS worker suggests a doctor for you, or suggests that they know where you can see a doctor at no charge, as attractive as that may sound, don't do it. Never do it. As desperate as you may be, I'd rather be stuck with a bill than a lie. Never visit with a doctor recommended by CPS. And they say this is the reason. What you may not know is that these doctors are a regular part of the CPS system, and they are commonly called as expert testimony witness by CPS as a witness against the parents. They are paid handsomely for their testimony. This is why you don't go to their doctors. And you're going to have some that's not going to listen, and that's going to go to a CPS doctor, and they're going to probably hit me up in the message section and try to tell me, hey, what do I do now? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just giving you the information as I'm learning. Nick gave me a compliment like, dang, you know your stuff. I thank God, because when you guys are asleep, I'm up researching and studying, because when I bring this forth, I want to make sure that I'm not giving you guys crazy stuff. Like I said in my other videos, that they don't have immunity. They do have immunity. And that's why you got to prove that these social workers are lying. And that's why I gave you guys all those codes and forms and stuff that you got to fill out. And I'll probably just do a video of all the forms that you may need to fill out for various reasons without going live, but it might be an upload. Let me continue. So, create a list of relatives and friends who are willing and able to care for your children if CPS takes them. So, if you have a friend that doesn't have children and she wished that she had children, but she is your child's godmother, why not call her and tell her, hey, are you willing to take care of your godchild until, yeah, sure, no problem. And if your godchild's mom needs some cash, you just go ahead and give her some cash to make sure that the child has food, because it's gonna, even if they pay her, still give her something. And so when they come and they ask you, is Chandra, I don't know who Chandra is Chandra paying for Jackie? And then the godmother could say, yeah, what's so great? Yeah, what happens, as soon as she got to my house, she asked me, is there anything that her daughter need? And she started right away, giving me money to go buy food and the necessities, and money to, buy my godchild clothes. So she has been very much active in supporting the child, and so has the father. So that's one of the things that will look good on you, because you're actually giving money and paying. Because some people, when their kids go into foster care, they don't give them nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that could be something that'll be in your favor as well. If your children are removed from your home, or the court is demanding that your children must soon leave your home for some period of time, it is always better that your children are taken in by relatives or friends. Are you aware that children placed in foster care are sometimes abused or mistreated by people working the foster care system or a paycheck? For a paycheck. I'm sorry, excuse me, you guys. There is the flip side to that, where some truly loving foster parents sometimes become smitten with your children and start their own campaign with the court and the petition for adoption. Having your kids in foster care is simply adding one more level of stress and complexity to your plate. And that's 100% true. Let me continue. I'm not going to read everything today. I'm just going to break it. I'm just trying to get to 10. And if anybody have any questions, please let me know. And that way, after number 10, I'm going to end the live, because I don't want it to run too long and bore people. Number 10, never admit guilt, even if pressured by a CPS social worker to do so in exchange for leniency or getting your kids back. That is a tactic and a trick that they use to get you to say that you are guilty, because you're desperate to have your kids back, even if you know you didn't do anything. If you are innocent of neglect or abuse, why would you buckle to the pressure of a CPS agent? CPS agents demand to have you admit to a false accusation. If you are accused or charged with neglect because someone has informed the county CPS system that you are addicted to drugs or alcohol, the social worker who is investigating those accusations may have good reason to be concerned for your kids' safety. Okay, so I was saying that before, early on. There's a case that I was watching that the social worker, thank you, Air Force. The social worker openly made a statement and said that the parent was intoxicated when she came to the door. And so she said, I need to take your kids because you are an alcoholic. And the lady was like, I'm not an alcoholic. And then she thought real quick, shut up. So the CPS worker went back and wrote a statement and said that the lady admitted to being an alcoholic. So what happened is the CPS worker had no idea that no, she said an alcoholic and taking drugs. She said that she was under the influence of alcohol and drugs. So the CPS worker had no idea of the type of job that this woman had. This woman had a job where there were random drug testing. And if you did drugs, you would not be able to have a job. And so when they first hired her, they did a hair follicle test to see if she did any drugs prior to being hired, and there was no drug test in her system. So what happened was the lady went to her doctor and she requested that the doctor do a blood test, do a hair follicle test, and do a nail follicle test. She requested all these tests, and the lady went the next following day, had all these tests done at, she said, Quest Lab and another lab, because they took the hair and they took more than one piece of hair from her. And so they tested it, and they had to wait. So they went ahead and they took her children. And so when they went to court, the lawyer that she had went to court with her and had all the documentation. And so the judge asked her, did she want to say anything? She said, yes, I would like to address her. She said, when you came to my door, I told you I did not use drugs, but I stopped because I didn't want to further say anything to you, because I was afraid that you would take my statement and turn my words upside down, which you did. And she said, when you came to my door, I was sleeping because I had to go to work that night and I needed to go to sleep. But when you woke me up, you interrupted my sleep. Was I or was I not rubbing my eyes? And the social worker kind of was stunned. And so she had to answer the question, yes. So after that, the judge was like, do you have any evidence to prove what you're saying? The lawyer handed the judge every last one of that woman's, even her jobs testing, when they did the follicle test, the random drug testing. She had the test from her doctor. The very next day, after the social worker accused her of using drugs and being addicted to substances. So all that right there went out the window, and that social worker was reprimanded. How was she reprimanded? I have not an idea, but she was very much so reprimanded for lying, because she blatantly outright lied, and there was a lawsuit pressed against her and her company. So the lady won her case and was able to sue the social worker's employer and personally sue the case manager for lying. And the judge was absolutely disgusted, because you accused this woman and you didn't even take the time to do your homework to see that this woman had a job where she could not use drugs, and she was randomly tested, to make sure that they were not under the influence because of the type of job that they had. And the lady had hair follicle samples, which showed that the lady hair was long enough, and she took multiple strands, and it proved to be her strands of hair, from her doctor. And there was no sighting of drugs at all in her whole person. The nail follicle test proved there was no drugs at all in her system. So how can you take a person being sleepy, waking up and answering the door and saying that they was under the influence? You made a presumption. You made an assumption, and you wrote up a bunch of lies based on what you saw. So I love it when you have judges that actually come after these lying pieces of crap. Okay, let me see. It says, hold on. Even if you privately agree that maybe you drink too often or too much, that does not mean that you have to incriminate yourself in this investigation. Bite your tongue. Bite your tongue. Admit nothing. Even if you recognize that you have a problem that needs to be addressed, this is not your doctor. This is not your priest. This is not your lawyer. Wrong person. Wrong time. This person is not here to help you. This person is here to collect evidence to support the accusations made against you and take your kids. Period. For those that have a hard time listening, read this again, okay? Read it for yourself. This means keep your mouth shut. If you have a substance abuse problem, keep your mouth shut. Don't tell them nothing. Nothing. Don't disclose nothing. All right? Go get some help. Don't tell them nothing. Not a thing. Do not admit guilt. Instead, work with your doctor, pastor, or even your private CPS defense attorney to find the professional help you might need. Sorry, I wrote it more than once. And professional help that the court will recognize. No sense paying twice because a treatment program is not court approved, okay? By not admitting guilt, you can then honestly work on any issues you have and work with the court to keep your, I believe, children. I did it. Keep your kids under your roof or get your kids returned to you within you when appropriate. Excuse me. By mistakenly thinking that admitting guilt to a social worker is justified is often a fast trip to jail, removing many of the options that you need right now to get your life in order. In any potentially criminal situation, never voluntarily do anything until you contact an attorney. Okay? Preferably a compensated and understanding attorney who works with parents, kids, and the juvenile dependency courts on any daily basis. They will offer you frank advice and they will offer you frank advice that will be better than unnecessarily sitting locked behind bars. CPS social workers and investigators are not above lying to you to encourage you to confess or admit to something that you might not even be guilty of, just to get you arrested or your kids in their control. So I'm gonna stop right there, and we're gonna continue this. I'm not gonna stop, but to same old Batman, same old time, same. Yeah, I'm gonna stop right here because it was a long one. It wasn't as long as we normally would do it, but I just wanted to like not overly bore people, and I thank you for being here. I thank you for supporting me. I emailed you about some music. I don't want to talk about it here, but I emailed you, and yeah, I definitely need your help with something. Yeah. So with that being said, you guys, thank you so very much for those that are watching, that will watch in the future. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm very happy about it. I said in my other video, but I'm gonna have to get together. I think that what I'm going to do is after this Air Force, I need you to email me and stay on the email because I want to ask you a couple of things and I need you to respond like kind of right away if you don't mind. So with that being said, everybody, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that post notification bell. And please, please, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share. And we will talk to you later. Take care, you guys. Bye.